newcomer to Nebraska, maybe even somebody from a different country and a different culture, what's the one important thing they need to know?
About Nebraska, that that's a very good question.
I got to think about that a little bit. One thing.
But what is a Nebraskan?
What is a Nebraskan?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what is a Nebraskan? Well, first of all, a Nebraskan is somebody who's come from somewhere else, including most of the indigenous populations. At one point or another, they were somewhere else and came to Nebraska.
I think it goes back to our ancestors deciding here's where they want to live, because it's maybe a little bit isolated from everybody else, and it's a community that they can grow and develop on their own and not have any influences from either coast.
I think also a Nebraskan realizes that the basis for this state actually is the agriculture and the agricultural background.
A typical Nebraskan you think of is as being, a farmer.
You have these hardworking guys with the rough hands and bib overalls, and they're always dirty because they've been out working all day. And
Nebraskans are just very hardworking, honest, loving type people. That we're people-oriented. We like people.
You let people know, hey, how you doing? You're friendly. I try to talk and say hi to people all the time, And it's just like in the country when you're driving through the country, cars coming the other way on the highway, everybody waves.
People don't do that in other places. It's like that in Nebraska.
I just love it here. The people are nice and everything. My family's here. There's no other place I'd rather be.
If you got a question, don't be scared to just ask someone.
We're always willing to answer a question.
We treat everybody nice. No matter whether you're from Cambodia or Iraq or whatever, we're gonna welcome you and help you and treat you nice.
You're always welcome here. We love to have visitors.
It's community, and I think no matter where you come from, I think you're accepted with open arms in the city and the state.
Nebraska is surprisingly diverse.
This is a community made up of global populations, not local populations.
And you can see that in my school too. It's really, there's like anywhere from like Indians to Irish. It's really cool.
So it's a place that's been cosmopolitan in its populations since it began, and we continue to be. My great-great-grandfather come over here from Germany in 1852.
We were brought here, so I don't think we had too much choice at that time, the ancestors, but I guess we made the best of it what we could.
Well, I am a second-generation American. My grandfather was from Denmark.
Southern Scotland or Northern England.
I'm a lot of things, really.
Empire Germans coming from Germany proper. My
African-American.
Luxembourg.
Lithuania.
Mother's families were Germans from Russia.
Irish, believe it or not.
From Germany.
A little bit of Sweden.
From Ireland.
Native American.
A mix of Germans and Danes, mostly Germans.
I like to say it's a little wok, a little stir fry, a little bit of everything thrown in.
And I'm half Swedish and then 1/4 German, 1/8 Scots-Irish, 1/8 Heinz.
What I was taught as a child is that I'm Heinz 57. It means I'm a little bit of everything. So we can't say we belong to one specific thing. We're just kind of the Heinz 57. And that's kind of what the United States and Nebraska is too, most people.
And so if what you want is a nice homogeneous place to live, Nebraska's not for you.
A Nebraskan is somebody that takes a lot of pride in their state.
The pride that comes with that is just that I know that I come from a solid place. I'm proud of the way I was raised, and also Husker football, right? Has anyone talked about that yet?
Don't forget that.
Well, we got the best football team, but other than that...
That might sound very shallow, but it isn't.
Just a few things that really kind of stand out on the map if you ask people about Nebraska. And the thing is those are the few things, but they all are very successful and they're things you can be proud of.
There are, I guess, what you'd call enclaves of Nebraskans in California and New York and Florida and everywhere you look, and they come together because there is a commonality there. There's something that draws them together that is beyond the football game, but it's also in the way we were raised. It's in the traditions that we have and hold close.
My parents believe that you know, you do the right thing, and if you do the right thing, everything will turn out all right.
They got good values. You know, like they're growing up with good values and everything.
There's a sign when you come in the state that says Nebraska's the good life. There's something behind that.
Nebraska is a wonderful place to be, and I work day in and day out to help people discover just exactly what that means.
And I've been to some big places, and I've been around the country an awful lot, but it's just always nice to know that it's always nice to know when you get back, you're back.
I've traveled the world, and it's always better to come home. It's the community, it's the people that are here, it's how people are raised and how they treat other people. I don't think you see that anywhere else but in Nebraska or even the Midwest.
I love Nebraska, but to say, well, how's Nebraska better than Kansans or Iowans? I don't know if I could specifically say we're better than anybody else. We're all the...
Oh, well, of course Nebraska's special. It's far better than Kansas and the Dakotas just because it is.
You know, there is a difference.
A state that's unlike Kansas.
Probably the biggest difference between Kansas and Nebraska is basketball. Kansas has it and we don't. We're trying to get it.
Nebraska's a place that brought its own mix of economy and population and cultural dynamic together into making it a very, very special place.
It kind of depends on what you want to make of it, you know.
Try not to tell the people on the East Coast who are out here that we don't want them all out here.
That's great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good luck with your project.
I appreciate it.
Hope I can help you a little.